Okay, we're going to have our first portfolio question here. It says that the price of one share of stock is $66.57, and we have options that expire in 2 months in this spreadsheet here. And assuming the current continuous compounded risk-free rate is 6%, we're going to construct a portfolio that's consisting of one long put with a strike price of 70 and one short put with a strike price of 65. And then the first question is, what would be the cost of establishing this portfolio? So I'm just going to go to a payoff cost diagram here, have this all set up already. Just have the payoff on the right, the cost on the left. Just put what's included in our portfolio here. So we're going to have our one long put. The strike price, I'm just going to label that K, is equal to 70, and one short put with strike price K is equal to 65. Alright, so for our cost for a long put at K equals 70, just go to our chart here, it's 5.87, and then for a short put at 65, it's 3.05. But since it's short, remember shorts, we're always reversing the sign on, it's going to be negative 3.05. Because we're going to be receiving money from a short. So our total cost for establishing this portfolio is just 5.87 minus 3.05, which is 2.82. Alright, so we're going to be solving the second part of this problem, which is asking if the price of one share at the end of 2 months is $67.15, what profit did the portfolio realize? So, we're going to be going to the payoff part of our diagram here in order to calculate the profit. So just remember that a put payoff is going to be the maximum of either 0 or your SFT minus K, so whatever the price of your forward is being priced around, and your strike price minus the future value of the premium. So for the long put, if SFT is less than 65, then our payoff would be 70, the strike price, minus SFT. And then if it's between 65 and 70, again it's 70 minus SFT. Then if we happen to get to the point where the price of the stock is over 70, then we're just going to be at 0, because if it was at, say, 71, we'd have 70 minus 71, which is negative 1, which is less than 0, and the maximum of the put payoff is 0, minus the future value of the premium, but just we're focusing on the maximum part there. And so for the short put, so since this is short, we're reversing the sign, so put a negative at the front here. It's going to be 65, our strike price, minus S of T. And then for 65 minus S of, or between 65 and 70, we're going to put a 0 here, because that's, say, something like 66. It would be 65 minus 66, which is negative 1, so we just default to the 0. And then if it's over 70, same case. If we had like a 71 or something, we'd get a negative number, so we just go down to 0. So we gotta add these two up. Let me just get a line here. So when we add these two columns up, we have 70 minus the 65 and the SFT, the negative SFT plus SFT. So we just get a 5 in this column. Completely get rid of the SFT. The stock at price time T. Here it's just 70 minus SFT. And in the final column, if the stock goes over 70, we get 0. Now we got to subtract the future value of the premium, which we found here from our cost. Remember, we're being compounded continuously. So to figure that out, we're just going to have 2.82 times e to the power of r, which is 0.06, and we're at 1/6 a year, which is 1/6. That gives us 2.848. So we need to subtract that from all of our possible options, minus 2.848 minus 2.848 minus 2.848. So when all said and done, subtracting that, some basic arithmetic, it's 2.15 if our stock is below 65. If it's between these two, it would be 67.15 minus our S of t. And finally, in our final column, it would be just minus 2.848. We'd be losing out there. So that's going to be our basic profit payouts here. So if the problem wanted to know what our profit would be if the stock was less than 65, we'd know it's 2.15. If it's over 70, it'd be negative 2.848. But since it's in the middle, we're going to just plug in our S of t here, which is 67.15. Here, I'll do this over here. It'd be 67.15 minus our S of t, which is 67.15. And hey, look at that. We net 0.